And hello everybody, welcome back to BSG Online 3. I am your host for the next block of games, Killer Chair. Hello everybody. And next up we have a wonderful run by Tiny Tim playing Fantasy World Dizzy. However, before we start that, I do notice that we have a €10 donation, which is quite nice. It is by... where did it go? This one. Wait, hold on. It was by some... I think it was by Anonymous saying fast in all caps, which is great. And just another one came on in just now by Big the Dave with €5 saying, "Go Tim, you're a cracking guy, break this game open, give him a shell."
Oh
so
dear. Thank you very much, Jer. Hello there, folks. My name is TinyTim78. With me, I have the one, the only Digital Duck.
Hello.
And we are going to be doing Fantasy World Dizzy. As Dave has just done, please get your egg puns in, your egg donations. I think it's a bit of an ask, but please get your donations in. If you want to see Dizzy 3.5, which is the bonus run, it needs to be met. So if we can get those donations in, that would be amazing. Right, I'm about to start. I'm going to let Duck talk about this game for the first few minutes, because the first part of the game is actually really difficult. So I'm going to concentrate and let Duck do the talking, and then once I'm past the difficult bits, you'll hear more from me. So I'm ready to start. I'm going to count down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get cracking.
Okay, so this is Fantasy World Dizzy. It's the third game in the Dizzy series, released in 1989, I think. Essentially, Dizzy is a game about an anthropomorphic egg who often has run-ins with Zax the evil wizard, and usually has to save his friend Daisy and other friends along the way. So it's your typical non-excuse plot, but the gameplay is very unique for its time. It features picking up objects and using them to solve various puzzles along the way. So you'll see Tim here picking up the railing to find a coin underneath it. There are 30 coins in the game. We need them all to actually finish the game, but we'll move on to that later when it's actually relevant. We're just picking up a bunch of stuff for now. So.
Yeah, I'm just concentrating just now. It's, as I said, it's the first part of the run's probably definitely the trickiest. There's lots of issues, lots of places that I can screw it up. So I'm just keeping concentrating here. Now this is the first bit coming up here. I want to explain about this little bit, Duck.
Yeah, so there's a very evil croc in the moat. The easiest way to get past him is to jump on his face and tie up his snout. You don't actually have to do this, but it's very helpful for generally playing the game. Like you can not do it, but you make your life harder in the future. Yeah, no,
I chicken out. I've got to rope the croc every time at the moment. There's just no way that I'm good enough to get away with not getting eaten. Okay, going up the tower here. This is the first. This bone is quite important for the next little bit. I'm just picking up a few of these items here. This next screen is actually quite tricky. I've got to make sure I do not fall, because again, Duck, if you explain what's down there.
Yeah, so there's a hidden bed of spikes in that small gap there. It's probably the most evil trap in the game, because as soon as you walk onto the screen, if you're not ready for it, you will just fall in and lose a life for seemingly no reason.
Yeah, you've only got 3 lives in this game as well, and to be honest, there is a lot of things that will kill you, like that portcullis there. I narrowly managed to dodge it. Now this is also a tricky bit here. We're going to give the bone to the Armorog here, and I'm going to get out of his way. Unfortunately, even after he takes the bone, if I touch him, he'll kill me. which is not very nice. Would you like to explain this wonderful creation as well, Doc?
Yeah, there's an eagle flying high above the clouds. If it sees you, it will swoop down and kill you. So what you have to do is you have to wait for it to be above the clouds, and then make a dash for it every time.
Yep.
We also have a broken bridge here. We can cross it eventually, but we need to throw some boulders into the water to make the water level rise up before we can get across.
This is going to be a bit close. Oh, that was close. That was close. That was close. Right, this is my third and final boulder. There's a lot of backtracking in this game, as you can see, but that's kind of the series, really. I mean, if anybody's seen me play these games before, then you'll be familiar with it. But would you like to explain how Dizzy got his name, Doc? Would you like to explain how he got his name?
Yeah, so Dizzy, I don't know if he ever had a name originally, but he was eventually named Dizzy by the Oliver twins because they had this sprite animation, the rotation thing going, and I think it was like their dad came in and said, I can't sit here and watch this, it's making me dizzy. And so they just said, oh, we'll call him Dizzy.
Yeah. Right. This is one of the nastiest screens. Even though it's not nasty in terms of damage, it's nasty in terms of platforming. So once I get in there, if you'd like to maybe give us an idea on this one, Doc.
Yes. So the amazing illusion is it's actually impossible to die in. You're completely invulnerable while you're in here because there's nothing that can kill you. But the solid tiles and the non-solid tiles all look exactly the same. You can't tell which parts are solid and which parts aren't. You just have to learn it and map it out. But once you've learned it, it's a really simple room to get through.
There we go. Yeah, it took me literally about 25 minutes the first time I did that, believe it or not. It was just horrendous, but got there, and that's a quick tricky little jump down there as well to get that coin. Now, that little bit there, Doc will explain why I'm jumping there.
Yeah, that's actually a hole in the bridge. If you stand on it, you'll fall through. So don't stand on it.
Yep, and there's nothing to indicate that. So if you fall in it the first time, you're just going to die, so it's horrible. That was Dozy. That was one of the Yoke folk. I've just taken his sleeping potion, which is going to be very important for the next major sort of gatekeeper bit here. That was giving me problems a wee bit in practice, so hopefully it'll behave itself today. And then once I'm past this bit, the rest of it, as long as I don't forget things, isn't too bad, apart from the very end. I killed myself the other day at the very end, so just got to be a bit careful with that. This game, as you can see, is quite difficult. There's lots of little nasty things in here that will certainly do for you. This jump can actually be quite a pain as well. It's easy to underestimate that jump. Right, here we go. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So what I did there was I had to use the sleeping potion on the dragon to put the dragon to sleep. That dragon is exceedingly nasty. It's pretty much random. I think it's random, isn't it, Doc?
It has some randomness in it, yeah. I think you can manipulate it, but it's not easy.
Yeah, no. So it's quite a problem. So let sleeping dragons lie. Just let him sit there and have a kit. Right. Okay. So I've just picked up the bag then, and this bag allows me to carry more items now because up to this point I could only carry 2 items at a time, which was actually a pain because it meant that I had to go back and forth a lot more. Whereas now I'm good to go. So I've picked up 2 hidden coins, one behind a bush, one behind a railing. And now I'm going to move on and get another hidden coin. As you can see, there's a bit of a theme here with the hidden coins. And as I go down this next section, if you want to discuss this next little room here, Duck?
Yep, so there are actually 4 lifts or elevators in the game. And at the start of the game, they're all turned off, and you have to collect various keys to turn them on again. It's not immediately apparent which one is for which, so you kind of have to do some trial and error to figure that out. But again, it's the same every time, so once you've learned that, you know exactly where to go for each one.
Yeah, that first one on the bottom right turned that lift on there on that screen. The top left one turns one up, further up, a couple of screens up, and then the next one is another one further up, and we'll do the 4th one. Now that item there's Dylan, peace man. He's one of the young folk. I'm going to go and grab my key. So that's the third lift key. Now this jump here is really tricky. This is quite nasty. Come on. Oh, first time. Nice. That can actually be quite unpleasant. There's a lot of pixel perfect jumps in this game. It can be really quite frustrating. Sorry, Doug.
I would say this game more than any other in the Dizzy series. I think this is the one which has the most in terms of pixel perfect jumps.
Yeah, when I was learning this game, I've only been speedrunning this game a couple of months, but this when I was learning this game, it was quite a challenge, shall we say. I was getting quite frustrated with it because there's so many little things, especially the amazing illusion, and there's a section later on, which you will see, that is, well, nasty, shall we say, with the pixel perfect jumps. Right, we're going to have to do a bit of wanton vandalism here in Denzel's pad and in the next room. So we're going to rip up the railing and grab a coin. Okay, that there. Would you like to explain what that little item is on the deck there, Duck?
Yeah, the hole is a interesting item. So when you can pick it up and you can put it in your bag, but the problem is that then you've got a hole in your bag and all the items fall out.
Yeah, so we'll be leaving that hole alone. Not going to be touching that. As you say, I did a bit of wanton vandalism there on Daisy's hut, ripped a windowsill off and got a hidden coin behind there. So now there's Grand Dizzy up the top there. So I'm just running over here to grab the door knocker, which will come in handy very shortly. Am I missing something? No, I don't think I am. Right, okay, up we go. So that's the third lift that I just turned on. That was that lift there. There's only one more lift left to do, which we will do later on. It's a relatively short run, this. Right, that's Grand Dizzy, so he's going to give me the crowbar. And I'm going to go over here and grab the pickaxe, because I'm going to need that very shortly. And now I've got to do a bit of backtracking. So I'm going to now go back to the first part of the game and make my way up to the castle. Now you may have seen it earlier on, but there's a door in there that I didn't go in because I couldn't, because you need a knocker to get in there. And of course I don't have the knocker. Now this jump here is quite tricky. This is pretty much pixel perfect, this jump. You've got to get right on the edge here, and there you go. This is one of the nastier coins, because if you don't know it's there, you could spend an awful long time. Which coin was the last one in the game that you found, Duck?
Probably that one, actually. It's because you never go into that room otherwise.
Yeah, this game is particularly evil in its placement of those coins. There's one later on in the last section that's really quite unpleasant. And again, it took me an awful long time in practice to get used to it. It really... Ooh, that's a bit of a scuffed jump. Again, all it takes is jumping in slightly the wrong place. So again, you think this game... Oh, you look at this and oh, this game's easy. Well, to do it fast, it's not. Right, here we go. There's a good knocker, and there's a bucket. Now then, this bucket is critical for one of basically the major skip in the game. We'll come up to it shortly. I'll get you to explain that when we get there, Duck. But before we do, we've got a little side trip to do here. And make sure I don't die in this crock. It's still possible to die there by falling in the water. I've done it a lot. And it's not fun. Right, okay, so here we go. We're now about to use the crowbar on the well lid here. And we're going to fall down under. We're going down. There we go. I'm also carrying some leaves that I shouldn't be, so I'm just going to drop those for now. I don't really need to be carrying those around. Now this is where the skip comes in. Would you like to explain the skip, Duck?
Yeah, so one of the puzzles in the game involves planting some beans and then watering them to grow well, you'll see. And it turns out we don't actually need the beans at all. For some reason, just watering an empty patch of land will still make things grow.
Yep, and to be honest, discovering that was very, very useful. That was a very, very nice little time save. It was quite good indeed. Right, okay, so here we go now then. This section is quite difficult because, as you can see, I'm upside down. And it takes a bit getting used to. The movement is still the same, the directions are still the same, but you're upside down, so it's I do find that quite tricky. And then, of course, I end up falling in the well quite a lot as well, which is not great. Especially when you're on a really good run and then you end up falling in the well and you're losing a few seconds. I'm like, Right, okay, so here we go. What I've got to do now is I'm heading back over here. I've got my bucket of water. That, by the way, is the pygmy cow that we should have given to the shopkeeper down under, but we don't do it because, well, we don't need to, because we don't need the bean. Right,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah. Selling a cow for magic beans, that's reminds you of something, doesn't it?
It does, it does. And then we're going to go and grab that back. And now we're going to water the manure, which is going to go through our hands. Lovely. And there we go, there's the beanstalk. This is the nastiest jumping bit in the game. What's your thoughts on this bit, Duck?
Yeah, so this is probably the bit that took me the longest to actually get up as a kid. It's really easy now once you know how to do it, but it's just completely impossible to figure out.
Yeah, it's quite unpleasant. Oh, I'm in the volcano. Oh no. Hard boiled. F's in the chat. I think that deserves some donations. I think we need some donations for that. We're hard boiled Dizzy. Right, okay, let's carry on. That does happen. Basically, again, that was just a misjump, a mistiming on the jump. That's what caused that. And I have done that a few times. So as you can see, but that's the first death. So I'm relatively happy. That's one of the few areas at this part of the game that I can actually die. So I'm relatively comfortable with that now. It's this that jump there is tricky, and then it's this last one. So I'm going to go back a little bit there because otherwise his roll, its momentum takes you over the edge. That's what caused that. So I need that big egg. It's not Dizzy, and I'm going to bring this down here. And then there's a coin up there. This coin is the one that gave me a lot of grief because I just couldn't work out how to get to it. Even actually finding out, even reading a guide how you're supposed to get to it, I couldn't do it. I was just like, what on earth is this? And then finally, it clicked, and you're like, right, okay, I know where I was going wrong. So I was going wrong with this jump here. You need to make that jump there, and then you go up, and you just walk off the cloud, and there you go. And it's so simple, but oh, it was so frustrating. Right, okay, so what I've got to do now is I've got one final bit to do. Would you like to explain where we're going here, Duck?
Yeah, so we've got to trigger the last lift and go and give the egg back to its rightful owner.
Okay. There we go.
It's not who you'd expect.
There we go. Yet another dragon. You've got a dragon. However, I am concerned, Duck, about the Yoke folks' tendency to build a treehouse village above a dragon's lair.
Well, it's supposed to be a friendly dragon, so it's more that it keeps getting his eggs stolen.
Yeah. Right, there we go. That's that done. So that's that dragon sorted. So that's our second dragon in the game out of the way. Right, okay, so now we've got this last little bit here. And I've got to remember something in this room. Something that I've forgotten a couple of times. So there's a coin. We're looking pretty good on coins. In fact, I think that's us on coins now, isn't it, Duck?
Yep, that's all of them so far.
Now, that guy is actually the jailer from the first screen. And technically, you need to give him the apple. You normally give him the apple and he tells you to use the water to get out the fireplace. But actually, you don't need to give him the apple. So you'll find when I go back in a minute, because I've got to go back to the first screen of the game now for this bit, you'll find that the apple is still sitting there because I didn't give it to him. Okay, we're on the final section. This is just pretty much the last bit now. There's two little bits I have to do here. I've got to go back to the beginning of the game because this is the second last coin in the game here. You can only get it when that jailer moves out the way because it's in the first room, but it's behind the jailer. So you can't get it until the jailer's moved, which doesn't happen until you give the dragon the egg. So it's quite a long way backtracking, unfortunately, this bit. There's the other nice sleeping dragon. I've got to be careful not to screw up the croc jump here.
If we are backtracking, do we have time for a quick donation?
Oh, go right ahead, Chair. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, because we have a donation by Michael K with €10 saying upside down platforming, how even? Thank you very much for that. And thanks for all the gift subs I've been seeing dropping in chat as well. And so more donations are coming on in, so I don't know how much more time do we
Yeah, go
have.
ahead, keep going, keep going. Let's hear them all. Thank you so much for your donations, folks. It really is amazing. Every little penny goes towards Mind, and it's such an amazing cause. Thank you.
Indeed. So one of them is by HUD601 with €5 saying, "Great to see Dizzy in the marathon again. Good luck, Tiny Tim. Looks like I'm having hard-boiled eggs for lunch." And the other one is €25 by Frost saying, "Dead egg."
Yes, Ned Egg, very much so. Thank you so much, Hudson Frosty. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Absolutely brilliant. Right, we're on the final stretch here. Would you like to explain what I'm going to do in this last little bit, Doc?
Yeah, so we're actually going to see Daisy for the first time in the game. She's spending her time just chilling in a little cage.
Make sure I don't fall in the volcano again. That would be very bad. Right, here we go. Now, I've got to be careful here. This is where I nearly died. Because you've got to put the rug on those spikes. If you go too far forward, you literally die. You spiked. And I lost a run to that the other day. And it was on a PB pace as well. So, it's a little bit frustrating. Right, okay, here we go. You want to explain this last little bit, Doc?
Yep, so we're going to go and save Daisy. Because apparently she doesn't like it in her new home. So we're going to send her back to her old home. And I forget, what's the reason she wants the 30 coins?
I'm not quite sure the reason she wants the 30 coins. Maybe she's just greedy, I don't know. Maybe, I'm not going to comment. So basically, you've got to go and get the 30 coins now. But quite annoyingly, in this game, you free her, and then she toddles off back to her own house, and you've got to go all the way back to her house to give her the 30 coins that you're actually holding. Because we could have ended the game right there, because I've got the 30 coins, but no. She wants to do it her way, so that's fine. Dizzy knows who's boss.
Yeah.
So we've got to go back here now. This is very much the very end, so be ready for time. I will count time in very shortly. Time is literally just coming up. Time is when I basically hit Daisy and the hearts appear on the screen again. So you'll see that. So thank you so much again, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this run. It's been absolutely brilliant. It's been excellent. I hope you've enjoyed it. And here we go. And time's coming up. And time. There we go. And that was Fantasy World Dizzy. Thank you very much indeed.
Very well done.
Oh, that was fun. And it didn't go too pear-shaped, so I only died once. What did I die to? I died to the volcano. And there you get wonderful Spectrum sampled speech there as well at the end. So thank you very much indeed. And thank you, BSG, for letting me run this game. Thank you, Digital Duck, again.
No problem.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. And please keep donating, folks. Amazing cause. And yeah, hope forward to hopefully seeing you again soon. Cheers.